We are staying in a Nubian guest house in Aswan, so we've got our room here, a little mini fridge, the kids' room there, and then like communal toilets. It is a bright, beautiful day. So this house included breakfast, so we're gonna head across to the location where the breakfast is served. Should be a really great view of the Nile, and judging by driving in last night, Aswan is very beautiful city. We made it up here for breakfast, and I'm like giddy about the view. So we've got a beautiful terrace here. The breeze is amazing, and the view across the Nile. It looks so different here than in Luxor. And the skies are clear. Not as many farms burning their fields, I guess. Hey guys, there's a camel right there.
What the heck? I can't see it.
A couple of them. So we got our breakfast. We got fresh eggs. It looks like jam of sorts.
This is really good.
This, from what I've read in reviews, is fresh made cheese. So everything here is like farm to table for this Nubian guest house.
Camel cheese, because there's camels outside.
Could be.
Could be. So that fresh bread, it's still hot. This is some of the best bread we've had in Egypt. We got this jam and the cheese in together. Oh, so good. The coffee is great. The breakfast is better. The view is the best. This was a perfect breakfast. The portions were great. We could have as much as we like, but really, like, some places I feel bad about wasting because it's like too much. This was perfect. So the eggs are perfectly cooked. The bread is fresh. This is everything I hoped for in this Nubian guest house. Habib from our guest house has helped us get a ride across. We need to go find the ATM, set us up with a ride there, and then also to Elephantine Island, which is where the Nubian village is. So the transports here are a little different, the boats, and the river is much, much cleaner. Moving from Cairo to Luxor to Aswan, it's changed so much. We're raiding just right between the cruise ships here. I had to run in and grab the money at the ATM. There's no ATMs on the West Bank. So while we do that, we are paying for our driver for today. We pay 250 Egyptian pounds per hour that we use him. We've got about a 45-minute boat ride to the Nubian village. He'll wait for us and then we'll come back. So hopefully it won't be too hot for him hanging out, but the boat is nice. The air is clear here, all except for right where we're waiting by the end of the ship. A little bit of exhaust, and it's no big deal. There he is, just walking through the boats to get to us. We're very confident on the water. The sea legs, no big deal, because we've spent enough time on different sizes of boats in our lives. So doing little things like that is not a big deal. If it's something made you nervous, I'm sure that would not be a requirement. We just don't mind. All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just a good way to lose a hand.
There are several islands here on the river in Aswan. There's the botanical gardens. There's Elephantine Island, which is named for the rocks that look like elephants in the water. They're quite unique.
I don't see
all these rocks. And then there is the portion of the island that have the Nubian village, which is a very brightly painted old village. So Nubia was its own kingdom for a long time before it joined with Egypt, and they've kept a lot of that same culture here in the village, which is one of the reasons we wanted to come to Aswan, to experience a little bit of that. So the tomb of the nobles that is here is not the tomb of the nobles for Luxor. So Luxor is the tomb of the nobles, which is for like the people who did great things in the government, were priests,
things, people who were high-ranking in society. Then you have the Valley of the Kings, which is where the pharaohs are buried, such as King Tut and the Ramses. Now in Aswan, the Valley of the Nobles here is for the royal family of the Nubians. This is a very beautiful boat ride. Lots of kids in the river. A lot of the ones on these paddle boards come and try to sing to us. They'll come and sing songs if you want to kick them a little bit of money or not, I don't know. But it is cool to see.
I bet you hurry up.
25 minutes. Kai, you like this? Hey, look at me. As you drive by, you can see in the sand here, there's trinkets just stuck in the sand for them to sell to tourists when they come. There's also a whole bunch of camels set up. And do excursions will bring you here to swim as a tourist in the Nile, and then you continue on to the village by camel from here to there. There is a beautiful village up on the hill here. Because none of the kids have school this week, in the last week of Ramadan, it's a big celebration week. There are tons of locals playing in the water. It's actually beautiful to see all the families together today, and we're super happy we're here doing this time. So it looks like a lot of the town is out celebrating. The shops are kind of closed down, which is good for us because we can't carry things as full-time travelers. That way we get to kind of view, and I don't feel bad for people trying to sell. The colors here are absolutely stunning. Really enjoying it. Luckily we did bring water because we can't buy any of the sodas or anything right now because it's closed. But there are a few shops open. The work here is beautiful, and a lot of the handicrafts are going to be local. It's also a great place, from what we understood, for like really good spices. We in Luxor bought some hibiscus tea. It is phenomenal. They definitely do things well, so if you're looking for some, it's a great place. For the artwork, everywhere you go, just beautiful. The roads just curve and wind, and you'll have market and then a pop-up of a really bright. Kids are loving watching all of the animals here.
Hello.
The kids are super cute. Hey, look at the ducks in that cage. See how water is. Everything's built around the water, you know.
The Nile.
The Nile is the bringer of life, but this is a beautiful village winding around it. I love all the buildings here. It's so different in contrast to where we've been so far around the world. So he's showing Cairo how to do the loom. One day the kids may tire of my antics, but I am loving walking through. One of the things they do here is they really make beautiful, on the loom that the kids got to try, some beautiful linens. I'd been wanting one for a certain outfit anyway, so I picked one up here. It is a quiet time of the day, but beautiful time to be here. And really, if you're gonna walk through a market anyway, it costs a little more to get across the river to get here, but this one is full of absolutely beautiful backdrop because you've got the colorful houses on one side and the river right behind you. So I'm just loving this.
Really enjoyed the Nubian village. It is a beautiful place. The people are kind and soft-spoken, at least for us. Being here during Ramadan, we've mentioned it multiple times, we've had a different experience. So if you like the hustle and bustle, if you don't want to be the only tourist on the street, not the time for you to come and visit here. But if you want a little bit quieter, if you were taking videos or doing photography and you would like to be kind of left alone to do that, it is the best time. And you can still support the villages and stuff. We bought a few things while we were here we're excited about. Sometimes I wish we could support more. We just don't need anything, can't take more home. So we're on our way to the East Bank to now the Nubian Museum. We've just entered the Nubian Museum of Aswan. On the top of the hill. Kai, I like your deal. Let me talk about a deal with you in a minute. The grounds are beautiful, hot. The children are very hot. We're about to go into the Nubian Museum. There's some music coming from inside. This is really great to learn a bit about what we're seeing. It really helps cement the sights. With a pretty grand entrance here. It's a little dark, but that's okay. We're conserving energy. Yeah. Kids love seeing all the places we've been, working our way down. Two ways to look at it. This is very quiet and subdued, and we're gonna go learn a little bit more. We'll show you some of our favorite stuff. It's pretty cool. And one of the cleaner museums we've been to.
We're learning a lot about Ramses II and how he really loved his children. So this is his daughter, and the hair on the side shows that she was in her youth. But such great honor was given to all of his children as a pharaoh, and also to his wife Nefertari.
A little hard for filming, but you can move from section to section from the prehistoric all the way to now we're into both the Christian and Islamic Nubia, and they have very respectful representations of both. This is the tomb of the last bishop, and we'll move into the Islamic section. And if you're unaware of like what the flow was of time in Egypt, this is really a great place that you could get all of that and like get a better grasp on the history here. This is exactly what we were hoping for. So you can see, similar to the homes that we just saw on the outside, and the rich colors, and kids don't love that, but I love that it depicts the work that they did, and true artisans. This one is cool. So what we don't always see, something that we have found interesting here in Egypt is everyone knows, Egypt and mummies. Cool. What we didn't recognize is how many layers to mummification and burial that there were. So for example, this is one of the first ones we've seen that has the wrapped body. There's still a mummy in here, and it has its death mask. And so you can see how they would fit together. It's like King Tut, you can see just his death mask, but they've removed it from his mummy. Overall, I really enjoyed this museum. It's very informative, it's well put together, it has a great flow through it, it's inexpensive, and the grounds are phenomenal. You can see, a lot if it's not too hot to go and walk around. Excellent.
Okay, so they got some really neat, nice books in there that are cool.
Oh yeah, so that's what I was
But
gonna tell him.
here's the thing.
The very best, we can leave that part out, but it has the best book section of like children's books to keep them interested in Egypt, coloring books, all kinds of stuff. They're a little expensive. Yeah? We are headed to lunch, and then we'll figure out our day after that, but definitely the Nubian Museum, super informative, beautifully done, great stop, especially in the heat.
Jammed up in a
Yes, it's very big.
We're jammed in a tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk. Squish, squish.
So tons and tons of videos of Egypt. You hear about the scam or the rub or the hustle, and they're just trying to make a living. So we took the tuk-tuk. We knew what we wanted to spend. We're 1 kilometer, 1.9 kilometers away, and so we know it's not very far. So we offered him 50. He said no, 100. We said okay, no problem, we'll walk. Okay, 50. We agreed on a price ahead of time. Then we go side streets. He took us down a market, which I actually enjoyed, but then he says, I took you on a street tour, now you pay me 100. And he was very, like, in the end, don't let that...
He wasn't as harsh.
No, that's exactly. He's like, oh, come on.
I need 100.
But I respect that they try for it. And after we said no, I gave him the 50. He goes, okay, you're beautiful. I love it. And he moves
my
on.
honest opinion, I don't respect it. We were actually going to give him 100.
That's
Just
so.
because. But
This
then
is where
once
it's
he
hard. 'Cause
tried
we would
to
have
like
tipped.
rub us and take it, I was like, fine, we're only going to pay the 50.
Right. And so we said to him, no, this is what we agreed on. He said, we took you on a tour. I said, I didn't agree to a tour.
Guys literally crossed it.
So you learn a little bit, but legitimately don't be afraid of it. Just say no. For them, it's a no loss scenario. They're gonna try, but if they don't get it, it's not a big deal. They're not aggressive about it. Don't pay for your things up front, whether it's taxi, tuk-tuk, whatever, and then it's a no big deal. Like, the pressure is non-existent. The other thing we will tell you is we've eaten more McDonald's in Egypt than I've eaten in all the rest of my life combined. But they're air conditioned. They have bathrooms that are free. And as a real estate company, which is really what they are, the views in every place we've been, McDonald's has the view. And we've got a beautiful dinner view. We've amassed a group of littles. This is one of my favorite things of all of our experiences so far in Egypt.
Speaks English really well here.
No way. Maya was way taller than that. We are super excited to get to hang out with these little kids.
Like they're saying bad words.
We got so busy playing with the kids that we didn't even finish our filming, but we hope you enjoyed a day in Aswan with us. If you make your way there, make sure you go stay in Habibs Nubian guest house.